Hello everyone. I'm Claire from Susan's family. Today, I will teach you how to make a fan from the Chinese Aesthetics series, Ancient Grace Round Flower Fan Peach Blossoms style. This round fan comes in two versions, solid color and dyed, both of which use the same crochet method. It consists of three parts: the fan surface, the main part, and accessories. Among them, the fan surface is pre-made. The main part includes peach flowers, petals, flower buds, and leaves. First, crochet each part of the main body separately. Then assemble them together with the accessories onto the fan surface. If you want to make the dyed version, you can start by crocheting the corresponding pieces with white yarn, and then dye them before assembly. You can refer to our dyeing tutorial video for the dyeing method. Here, I will demonstrate using the solid color version as an example. Now let's start learning the crochet method for the main part. First, make the flower buds. Let's look at the finished product. There are large flower buds and small flower buds. Let's start by learning the crochet method for the large flower bud. Begin with an adjustable magic ring. Crochet the main part of the flower bud in rounds counterclockwise. Then embroider the calyx underneath the flower bud. The stitches used include chain stitch and single crochet increase, and single crochet decrease. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. Before we start crocheting, let's learn the proper posture for crocheting. To make it easier for everyone to see clearly, I will use cotton yarn for the demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn details, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product. First, start with an adjustable magic ring. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands on your left index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap. Take it out. Then wrap the yarn tail once around your left little finger. Pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Insert it into the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. Now there is 1 loop on the hook. Continue with a slip stitch to secure. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the loop on your hook. 1 slip stitch is completed. Pull tight. The magic ring is now completed. Next, work the first round. Start with chaining 1 as the turning chain for the single crochet. This does not count as 1 stitch. Then work the single crochets around the ring. Insert the hook into the large space of the magic ring. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are now 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all the loops on the hook. The single crochet is now completed. There is a V-shaped pair of strands at the top right. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Continue working single crochets. Insert the hook into the magic ring. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, draw through the 2 loops on the hook. The second single crochet is now completed. You need to complete a total of 4 single crochets in the first round. Continue to finish the remaining single crochets. 3, 4. After that, close the magic ring. There are 2 loops remaining. Gently pull the starting tail first. This will loosen one of the loops. Then tighten the loose loop. There is 1 loop remaining. Pull the yarn tail tight directly. This will close the last loop. Next, work 1 slip stitch in the first single crochet stitch of this round. This is the second chain from the left side of the yarn tail. 1, 2. It's this large V-shaped braid. If you cannot tell for sure, you can also count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still this stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over, draw the yarn through, and draw through all loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. It does not count as a stitch. You need to pull it tight. The first round is now complete. Next, we'll work the second round. Start with chaining 1. In the next stitch below, make a single crochet increase. That means working 2 single crochets into the stitch. As you crochet, keep the starting tail above the hook. Weave in the tail as you go along. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The single crochet increase is now complete. Then, in the adjacent stitch on the left side, work 1 single crochet. After completing that, in the remaining 2 stitches, work a single crochet increase in each. Once done, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. This means crocheting into the second braid from the left tail end. 1, 2. It's this large braid. Insert the hook, yarn over, draw the yarn through, pull through all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. Pull tight. The second round is complete. The starting tail of the yarn has already been worked around once, so you can cut it directly. You can see that the texture on the right side is more distinct, while the wrong side is less defined. As you continue crocheting, keep the right side facing you. Continue with the third round. Start with 1 chain. Pick up stitches, making 1 single crochet in each stitch. Work the entire round. Join with a slip stitch when completed. Pull tight. The third round is complete. Crocheting evenly will cause the fabric to curl backward. Adjust the fabric so that the right side faces out. Move on to the fourth round. Start with 1 chain. Make 1 single crochet increase. Then make 1 single crochet. Repeat this 2 more times. After completing, make 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The fourth round is completed. For the fifth and sixth rounds, work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Crochet even without increasing or decreasing. The method is quite simple. Everyone can finish these 2 rounds on their own. After completing, stuff the fabric with some cut yarn tails. You can use scissors to help. Stuff it firmly enough. Pinch the curve of the fabric. This way, the stuffing is complete. Now, crochet the 7th round. Start with 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet decrease. Insert the hook into the next stitch below. Draw the yarn through. There will be 2 loops on your hook. This is an incomplete single crochet. Then, work another incomplete single crochet in the left stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on your hook. That's 2 incomplete single crochets. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. 1 single crochet decrease is completed. Move on to work 1 single crochet. Then, work another single crochet decrease. Work incomplete single crochets in each of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. Another single crochet decrease is completed. Continue with 1 single crochet. And 1 single crochet decrease. In the remaining 2 stitches, work 1 single crochet in each. Join with a slip stitch. Tighten the yarn. The 7th round is now complete. Continue to the 8th round. Chain 1 to start. Work 2 single crochet decreases in a row. Then work 1 single crochet. Finally, work 1 single crochet decrease. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Secure with 1 chain. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. Tuck the yarn tail into the opening. The 8th round is now complete. The main part of the large flower bud is now crocheted. Next, embroider the calyx at the opening. Cut a segment of the corresponding contrasting color yarn. Remove 2 strands and thread them into the darning needle. First, sew a few stitches into the main part of the large flower bud to secure it. Be mindful not to expose the yarn tails. Then, bring the sewing needle out from the final round. Insert it into any position in the 3 rounds above. Bring it out from the insertion point. And insert it again into the same position above. Exit at an adjacent position. 1 calyx is now embroidered. Following the same method, embroider 4 more calyces around the opening. The length of the embroidery is not fixed. Generally, insert the needle into any single crochet stitch within these 3 rounds. Embroidering calyces of varying lengths makes them look more natural and lively. After completing, exit from the opening. Remove the darning needle. Temporarily leave the yarn tails intact. The calyx of this large flower bud is now embroidered. Up to this point, the crocheting method for the large flower bud has been explained. The crocheting method for the small flower bud is similar to that of the large flower bud. After completing the 4th round, add stuffing. Once finished, sew the calyx at the opening. Everyone, refer to the pattern chart, and refer to the previous demonstration. Use the corresponding contrasting color yarn to make the required number of large and small flower buds as needed. Next, let's learn the method for making flowers. Let's take a look at the finished product. There are 2 different sizes of flowers, large and small. The crocheting methods are similar. We'll start with the large flower. Begin with a magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitches used are double crochet, treble crochet, and a picket made with 2 chain stitches. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with a magic ring. Chain 1 to begin. In the first round, make 5 single crochets. After that, close the magic ring. Then join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Pull tight. The first round is complete. Now move on to the second round. Chain 1 to begin. Make 5 consecutive single crochet increases. After completing, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. The starting tail has been worked around once. You can cut it directly. The second round is now completed. Continue to the third round. Chain 2 to begin. Work 1 double crochet into the next stitch below. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over once more, pull through these 2 loops. 1 double crochet is now complete. Work 1 treble crochet in the same stitch. Yarn over twice first. Then insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over on after another. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1 treble crochet is now completed. Next, work 1 treble crochet in the next stitch on the left. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over on after another. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. Another treble crochet is completed. Next, work a picket with 2 chains. We will refer to this as a picket from now on. Start by making 2 chains. Then, pick up 2 strands of yarn from the treble crochet below. Pick up these 2 strands. Work 1 slip stitch. This completes the picket. In the same stitch below, work another treble crochet. Then, work 1 double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this step once more. 1, 2, another double crochet is done. Now, work 2 chains. Then work 1 slip stitch in the same stitch. Consider these stitches as 1 petal. For this round, repeat to make 5 petals like this. Let me demonstrate it one more time. Start with 2 chains. In the adjacent stitch on the left, work 1 double crochet and 1 treble crochet. Then work 1 treble crochet in the next adjacent stitch on the left. Follow up with 1 picot. First, make 2 chains. Then work into the treble crochet below. Pick up 2 strands and work 1 slip stitch. The picot is now completed. Work 1 treble crochet in the same stitch. And 1 double crochet. Then make a transition with 2 chains. Work 1 slip stitch in this position. The second petal is done. Continue down using the same method. Complete the remaining 3 petals. After completing, secure with 1 chain. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Pull tight. The third round is now completed. This large flower is now finished. The method for crocheting small flowers is similar. Start with a magic ring. In the first round, work 10 single crochets. In the second round, follow the chart to crochet 5 petals. After completing, leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. All the stitch techniques have been demonstrated before. Refer to the chart, and follow the previous demonstrations. Use the corresponding contrasting color yarn, and crochet the required number of large and small flowers for later use. Up to this point, the method for crocheting flowers has been fully explained. Next, we will learn how to make petals. Let's look at the finished product. Crochet a single petal on a chain stitch. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, we start with a foundation chain. Hang the yarn with your left hand. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand, and position it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise, and use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten. Then make 3 chains. Next, work 1 double crochet into the first chain. Two treble crochets. And then make 1 picot. Then, in the same position, work 1 more treble crochet. And 1 double crochet. Make 2 chains as a transition. Work 1 slip stitch in this chain position. Then secure with one chain. Leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. This petal is now completed. Following the same method, use the corresponding contrasting color yarn to crochet the required number of petals for later use. Up to this point, the instructions for crocheting petals are complete. Next, we will make the leaves. Let's take a look at the finished product. The leaves are made using ribbon, and then sewn onto the wrong side of the flower. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific method. First, cut a section of the remaining yarn from crocheting the flower. Thread 2 strands through a tapestry needle. Take out the ribbon. Fold one corner inward to form a triangle like this. Fold it twice more. And trim off the excess. Sew a few stitches at the bottom to secure it. Tie the beginning and ending tails in a double knot. Cut off the excess ribbon. Then, singe the sewing position of the remaining ribbon with fire to prevent fraying. Be mindful of safety when using fire, and avoid getting burned. This completes one leaf. Sew the leaf onto the wrong side of the flower. Match the sewing position of the leaf to the center of the wrong side of the flower. The sewing method is not fixed. Be careful not to sew through to the front side of the flower. Just make sure it's sewn securely. Tie a double knot after sewing. Hide the yarn tail. Cut off the excess. This completes the installation of one leaf. Continue in the same way, making and sewing the required number of leaves onto the backside of the flower for later use. Up to this point, the method for making and installing the leaves has been explained. After completing the entire main body, we will proceed with the assembly. Let's take a look at the finished product. First, assemble the flower branches and install them in the corresponding positions on the fan. Then, make and install the large and small tassels. Next, add the flowers and petals. Follow by installing the butterflies and tags. Finally, attach the tassels to the fan handle. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific installation methods. First, let's make the flower branches. Start by preparing one shorter branch in advance. Cut 2 pieces of aluminum wire, each about 10 centimeters long. Align one end. Leave about 1 centimeter of length. Begin wrapping the wire. At the starting point, wrap a few extra rounds to secure it tightly. Continue wrapping for about 6 centimeters. Wrapping tightly and neatly will look better. At the end, apply a small amount of glue to secure it. Thread it through the middle of the 2 aluminum wires. Pull tight. Leave a tail about 5 cm long and cut off. This way, one branch is completed. Set it aside for later use. Following the same method, wrap 10 more branches of varying lengths. The length of the branches is not fixed, ranging roughly from 2 centimeters to 6 centimeters. I have a small number of samples. They are already prepared here. For the main stem, cut 2 aluminum wires, each about 55 centimeters long. Place them side by side. Leave about 1 centimeter and start wrapping the yarn. Wrap for about 5 centimeters. Add the pre-made branch that is 6 centimeters long. Align it with the already wrapped section. Choose a shorter aluminum wire. Leave about 1 centimeter and cut it. After trimming the remaining aluminum wire and yarn tails, smooth them out. Wrap all the aluminum wires and yarn tails. Wrap a few rounds downward. This branch is now integrated. Continue wrapping downward. At around the 5 centimeter mark, add another branch. Pay attention when adding new branches. Always keep 3 aluminum wires for the main stem. Trim off any excess aluminum wire. When cutting, stagger the positions where you cut the aluminum wires. This creates a more natural effect when wrapping. Continue wrapping the branches downward. Refer to the position of the finished product, or based on your preference, add new branches. After wrapping more than half, change the direction of the new branches when adding them. Take out one branch. Position the wrapped section toward the other end of the main trunk. Combine the remaining aluminum wire and yarn tails. Trim off any excess parts. Smooth it out as well. Then wrap all the aluminum wires, and continue wrapping downward. Make sure to weave in the yarn tails as you go. Pay attention to settling the connection point. Continue wrapping downward, until just before the ending position of the branch wrapping. Make sure to wrap in the yarn tails from the branch as well. Now we have reached this point. Separate the section where the yarn has been wrapped. Continue wrapping the remaining aluminum wire. As you wrap, refer to the position of the finished product. Or add new branches according to your preference. When you have about 2 to 3 centimeters left, apply glue to the aluminum wire. Then continue wrapping until about 1 centimeter is left. Trim off any excess yarn tails. Secure the yarn tail with glue. This flower branch is now completed. Next, attach the flower bud to the top of the flower branch. Take out a flower bud. Insert the reserved aluminum wire at the top of the flower branch into the opening at the ending position of the flower bud, until the calyx fits closely with the wrapped wire section. Then apply glue underneath the calyx. Wrap the reserved yarn tail from the calyx underneath it, and secure in place. Trim off any excess yarn tails. This completes the installation of one flower bud. Follow the same method to attach flower buds to the tops of the remaining flower branches. Pay attention to the same position. Using different colors for flower buds on different branches will look better. The method is quite simple. Everyone can install all the flower buds on their own. Attach a large flower to the top of the central flower branch. I'll demonstrate the installation method with this small sample. Take out a large flower. Insert the reserved yarn tail into a needle with an appropriate size. Apply a small amount of glue to the top of the flower branch. Take out another large flower. Place the two flowers with their wrong sides facing each other. Position them at the top of this flower branch. Sew a few stitches back and forth through the center of the flowers to secure them. Pull tight. This will firmly attach the flower to the top of the branch. After sewing securely, insert the needle into the center of one of the flowers. Then insert the needle through a large flower center. Make sure the right side of the flower center is facing up. And add a large pearl. Then bring the needle back through the flower center. Do the same at the other end, by inserting the needle through another large flower center. And add another large pearl. Bring the yarn tail back through the flower center. Thread it between the two flowers. Tie the two ends in a double knot. Trim off any excess. Apply a little glue to secure it. At the flower center position, you can adjust the branches of the flower center to make them more three-dimensional. This completes the assembly of this flower. After all the buds are assembled, attach the flower branches to the fan surface. Before assembling, let's take a look at the fan surface. The side that is level with the frame is considered the front side of the fan. The back side curves inward. Attach the wrapped flower branches to the front side of the fan surface. Here, I will demonstrate the installation method using a small sample. The shape and length of the sample flower branches are random. It does not include any buds. It's just to demonstrate the method. Cut a length of thread, in the same color as the flower branch, and thread it into a sewing needle. Place the flower branch along the lower edge of the front side of the fan surface. One end should be slightly lower, and the other end slightly higher. Then, sew 2 stitches along the edge of the fan surface at any position to secure it. Pull tight the yarn tails at both ends. Tie a double knot. Pass the yarn tail to the other side. Cut off any excess. This secures it in place on the fan surface. Continue following this method, choosing a few points to attach the flower branches to the fan surface. At the handle position of the fan, adjust the shape of the flower branches. Bend the yarn to fit the curve of the fan surface, creating a raised shape. Secure everything in place completely. This installs the flower branches onto the fan surface. Next, make a large tassel. Cut a piece of corresponding yarn. Here, I'm choosing colors randomly. Pull out 2 strands and thread them through a gold needle of appropriate size. Tie a slip knot at the end of the yarn. This prevents the beads from slipping off. Then, thread on a small purl one by one. One will bead. One seed bead. Then thread on one small purl. Continue downward. Consider one seed bead and one small purl as one group. Continue threading on 12 more groups. After completing that, thread on one glass leaf bead. Then, thread back through the beads above in sequence. Next, take out a 3-hole pendant. Find the 3 small holes at the bottom. Insert into any one of the edge holes. Slightly tighten. Loosen the slip knot at the starting position. Tie a double knot with the beginning and ending yarn tails. Then hide the yarn tails under the beads below. Trim off the excess. Hide the other yarn tail in the same way. This tassel is now complete. Make an identical tassel on the other edge hole. I won't repeat the process here. The method for making the tassel through the middle hole is similar. It just uses different types and quantities of beads. Refer to the finished product images. Insert the corresponding beads to make it. Let me demonstrate how to make the bead string above the 3-hole pendant. Cut the corresponding yarn as well. Thread 2 strands through a gold needle with an appropriate size. Tie a slip knot at the end of the yarn. First, insert 12 seed beads. Then insert 1 small purl. One glass bead. And 1 small purl. Next, thread through the top hole of the 3-hole pendant. Then thread back through the beads above in sequence. Slightly tighten the yarn. Then find the approximate middle position of the fan. Sew twice at the edge to secure it. After completing, undo the slip knot. Tie the beginning and ending yarn tails into a double knot on the wrong side of the fan. Hide the yarn tails underneath the beads on your own. This way, the large tassel is completed. Attach it to the corresponding position on the fan. Following the same method, make and attach another large tassel. The small tassels are simpler to make. Let's look at the finished product. The small tassels consist of small pearls and wheel beads. They are made up of glass beads and seed beads. The only difference is the number of small pearls at the top. Please refer to the paper instructions for specifics. The tassel in the middle has the most small pearls. It is attached to the corresponding branch above the fan handle. The tassels on both sides have gradually fewer small pearls. They are sewn onto the corresponding edges of the fan. The distance between each small tassel is approximately 1 centimeter. The method for making each tassel is the same as before. After completion, sew them directly onto the corresponding positions on the fan. Next, attach flowers and petals onto the fan surface. Let's look at the finished product. The flower positions on both sides of the fan are symmetrical. Following the position of the flower branches, sew along the edge of the fan. While sewing, attach the flower centers. The colors and positions of the large and small flowers are not fixed. You can refer to the finished product, or adjust according to your own preference. The large flowers, small flowers, and leaves are arranged staggeredly along the flower branches, distributed along the edge of the fan. Next, on the wrong side of the remaining space on the fan, sew on 2 petals. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific sewing technique. I will demonstrate the specific sewing method using a sample swatch. The sample has fewer elements, so it's only for demonstrating the method. Insert the previously left yarn tail through a gold needle of appropriate size, and sew 2 stitches at the corresponding position to secure it. On the other side of the fan, at the same position, similarly secure another flower. If this flower has leaves sewn on its backside, the opposite flower should also have leaves sewn on, in matching positions. Then, thread the corresponding flower center and pearls onto the yarn tail sequentially. Note that for large flowers, you need to use a large flower center and large pearls. For small flowers, thread the corresponding small flower center and small pearls. pass the yarn tail through another flower center. And similarly thread the corresponding flower center, and pearls in sequence. Then, pass the yarn tail through to the same side as the other yarn tail. Tie the two yarn tails into a double knot underneath the flower to secure them. Trim off any excess. Then secure it with glue. This way, the flower is fixed in place. Follow the same method, and refer to the positions explained earlier to attach the remaining flowers. Next, attach the petals. Thread the reserved yarn tail of the petal into a darning needle. Insert it into the corresponding position on the wrong side of the fan surface. Make sure the right side of the petal is facing up. Sew 2 stitches to secure it. Then tie the 2 yarn tails into a double knot. Trim off any excess. Secure the yarn tails to the wrong side of the petal with glue. This petal is now attached. Follow the same method to sew another petal. Up to this point, the method for attaching the flower and petals has been explained. Next, we will attach the tag and butterfly to the fan surface. I'll demonstrate the method using this fan that hasn't had flowers sewn onto it yet. Note that both the tag and butterfly are attached to the right side of the fan. Let's start by attaching the tag. Cut a strand of corresponding yarn. Thread 2 strands into a darning needle of appropriate size. Tie a slip knot at the end of the yarn. First, thread on a seed bead. A seed bead. A wheel bead, and 1 glass bead. Then insert from the corresponding position on the back side of the fan. The exact position is not fixed. You can refer to the finished product, or adjust according to your preference. Make sure to insert from the back side. Then thread through the tag. Ensure the text is right side facing up. Follow by threading another glass bead. Insert into the corresponding position on the top of the fan. From the back side, insert above the glass bead. Slightly tighten. The glass bead is now secured. Then thread through a will bead. Secure it in the same way. Finally, thread through the pearl and seed bead. Thread to the back side of the fan. Loosen the slip knot. Tie a double knot with the beginning and ending yarn tails. Hide the yarn tails separately in the beads below. The pendant is now installed. Next, on the front side of the fan, attach the butterfly. Apply glue to the back side of the butterfly. Stick it onto the sewing position of the petals. This concludes the installation method for the pendant and butterfly. Finally, let's attach the tassel on the fan handle. Cut a piece of corresponding yarn. Insert it through a gold pin with an appropriate size. Thread on one small pearl sequentially. One will bead. One glass bead. Then thread on another will bead, and one small pearl. Next, insert the yarn through the loop above the tassel. Then thread back through the beads above in sequence. After that, insert the needle into the hole in the fan handle. Tie a double knot with the beginning and ending yarn tails. Pay attention to leaving the length of the loop slightly longer here. So the tassel can perfectly turn to the bottom of the fan handle. Trim any excess yarn tails. Hide the knot inside the hole of the fan handle. This completes the installation of the tassel on the fan handle. Up to this point, the making method for this fan has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. We will see you in the next episode.